So we are coming to the end of this amazing Congress. And after 3 days and talking to so many people, particularly to the young one, I asked them all how they enjoyed this meeting. And I did hear only really very, very, very positive feedback. So this is, of course, extremely nice and important for our society, for our SMA Europe society. And it is, of course, also a great thing for our patients, for our scientists who are even more motivated to go back and to do more work to find the final solution in everything. So I believe this was really an extremely successful meeting. And of course, we're going probably to laugh in a few years when we're thinking on the first day with the 300 people waiting in the queue to be registered. We won't laugh about the TIFs, but that's it. So we have to be wary about that in Barcelona. But I think all this is not going to really impact negatively our scientific part, which was just incredible. So I thought from the beginning to the end, everything was just amazing. So thank you so much to everybody. Thank you particularly to SMA Europe. Thank you very much to Nicole, who did, together with the entire board, a great work. I have to thank you so much to the Scientific Advisory Board. And now I have to confess that after 10 years, and after, how many years? 5 years or 6 years of chair, I decided to step down. So I think nobody is non-replaceable, so it's always good to take your decision in time and to give room for younger people with new ideas, with new motivation. I still will come, of course, to these meetings. I'm still going to ask questions. But I think it is absolutely great, and I'm really delighted and happy that the next chair of the SAB, Tom, is going to do, I'm sure, a fantastic job, and also the newly recruited SAB members. They're all highly motivated scientists, and well, I'm confident that this is going to be a great success also in Ghent in 2 years, when hopefully I will see you all there. So I will like to hand over now to Tom to say some concluding words to this Congress. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, Bruni. And I think I speak on behalf of all the SMA community when we thank you personally for all of your work on the SAB, but also for the wider SMA community. And we very much look forward to your questions for the coming years. We'll hold you to that promise. So as the incoming chair, I was asked to, I guess, give a few reflections on the meeting that we've just had the last 3 days. And I guess the first question when you're asked to do that is, well, where on earth do you start? There are so many specific details that you'll remember, you'll take home with you, you'll think about, that will influence you. So I thought rather than trying to maybe pick highlights, I would pick 3 themes that I think have really impacted me personally over the last few days. And I hope you won't mind me sharing those with you. This is very much my personal views, not those of SMA Europe, not those of Bruni, my personal views. The first thing that I have been really struck by at this meeting, and I hope you will join me in agreeing with this, is that the engagement with the patients and their families who are here this weekend has been exceptional. The dialogue, the engagement, the willingness in the first session to tell us directly about what matters, things that can be very personal, things that can be difficult to talk about even, is so inspiring. It reminds us of what our missions are, and it keeps us focused on the goals that we need to be targeting. So I would like to give a particular thanks, first of all, to all of the patients and their families for taking the time to come to the meeting and for being so engaging with us to help us understand where we should be going. And I'd just like to join you all, I hope you agree with me, in just giving a round of applause and thanks to the patients and their families. The second thing, and I've written down 2 words here that I have really taken away, is collaboration and combination. These were words that really just kept coming back to me again and again in almost all of the sessions that we were exposed to this weekend, whether it was clinical sessions, scientific sessions, poster sessions. The key to success in our field has been and will continue to be collaboration and combination. The critical nature of multidisciplinary teams is becoming more important than ever in SMA, whether that's in terms of patient care, whether it's in terms of developing and testing new therapies, whether it's in terms of doing fundamental science to get at the root cause of the disease. We cannot exist in isolation anymore, and we need to bring people together. I think that's even more important than ever when trying to bring together clinical and scientific. A lot of the diagrams you see in the literature and out there in the media have the drug development process as a unidirectional arrow, where you start with fundamental research, you move to preclinical research, you go to clinical trials, you go to the clinic. And whilst that's great, I think what SMA has taught us is that if that's all you do and you leave it there, you are not doing the best by your patients. The straight arrow needs to become a circle, where the clinical work, the real-world clinical data, is fed back into the start of that cycle. And so what happens is that you inform and you help the fundamental researchers to then meet the challenges of the next generation of therapies or the next generation of challenges that exists for patients. So one thing I would ask you perhaps all to do after the conference on your way home, you've got a couple of minutes in an airport or something to mull things over, is just have a think about, was there anyone or any piece of work that I heard about or saw in this conference? Maybe it's not in my field, maybe it's not something that I actively do or participate in, but that I could engage with and help with. And if the answer to that is yes, reach out. I think everyone at this conference has seen how friendly as we are as a community and how everyone wants to talk to everyone else and find new solutions. So please do that. Find an email address, Google them, look them up, just drop them an email. Even if it's just, I loved your talk, it was really cool, I think that's important for my work because of X, Y, and Z. That's how we will foster this collaboration going on. And I think with all the excitement that exists around the therapies for SMA, which you could only dream of really going back 10 or 20 years, I'm also reminded of the importance of combination from a therapeutic perspective and the importance of not resting on our laurels and just trying to tweak what we've already got, but looking at what's the second generation of therapies. Maybe that is combinatorial therapies. Maybe it's adding SMN-independent therapies alongside SMN-targeted therapies, but really taking us forward to directly address the problems and the issues that the patients are experiencing that we had delivered to us so clearly in the first session this week. So collaboration and combination are things that I have really taken away from this meeting. The third thing I've noted, and I've been speaking to colleagues over the past few days, I've had this reiterated back, is just how impressive the early career researchers are in this field. I am never fail to be amazed by the standard of the early career researchers that we are fortunate enough to work with. You're way better than I would ever have dreamed of being at that stage of my career. And the enthusiasm, the ideas, the knowledge, the drive you bring to the field, I think is absolutely remarkable. We are honoured to have you all as colleagues. You have had challenges like no other generation has had. COVID, all the disruption that's come with that, the changing world geopolitics, all of these things make your life hard. And yet we have had several days of presentations from early careers researchers, as good as anything you would normally see, even if there hadn't been any disruptions. And I think that speaks to the power and the commitment of that particular group of individuals. And it means that as we look to the future, and maybe we start talking about SMA Congress in 2032, you are going to be the people carrying the torch and delivering for the patient communities as we go forward. And I think the SMA field is in very safe hands. So congratulations particularly to the early careers researchers. Which brings me nicely to the fun bit, which is the Early Career Researcher Awards, the highlight, I'm sure, for many of the weekend. So we have 4 awards to announce today. We have a Best Presentation, a Best Talk Award, and 3 Best Poster Awards. The judging panel found it very, very difficult to identify a single winner for these categories. As I said a few minutes ago, we were incredibly impressed across the board by the standard of presentations, both talks, flash talks, poster presentations by the early career researchers. As I've said, you all should be proud of everything you've done. But we managed to whittle down to some winners, and I'm pleased to announce that the winner of the Best Young Scientific Investigator Award, so this is the award for the best talk, which does come with a cash prize. Please see Vanessa afterwards for that, not me. Vanessa will deal with a cash prize. But we have a certificate and a little gift to you. So the best presentation is awarded to Deborah Donzel for her talk, The Synergistic Role of SMN and EIF-E3 in Translation Regulation. Go around that way, Deborah. Oh. Well done.
Congratulations. It is well deserved, really. This is yours. I think this is
Thank you very much for being so engaged. Excellent.
and a lot of success.
Photographs.
All together.
Me as well. Next, we have 2 clinical poster awards. And the first of the Best Clinical Poster Awards is awarded to Feline Shaymans, I hope I pronounced your name correctly, for inflammatory markers of cerebrospinal fluid.
Congratulations. It was really nice.
Thank you. Congratulations also from our side. Thank you. Excellent. Yes.
So please take this so that in the end,
There is also a cash award for the Best Poster Prize. Also see Vanessa afterwards, please. For the second Best Clinical Poster Award, for which there's also a cash prize, I'll keep saying it, is awarded to poster number 66, which is Georgia Karate, long-term follow-up of scoliosis progression in type 2 SMA untreated patients.
I wish you all the best. Congratulations. And it was really nice. With your dedication.
And the final award of the Congress, the Best Scientific Poster Award, also with a cash prize, goes to Florian Gerstner for the poster Cerebellar Pathology in 2 mouse models for spinal muscular atrophy. And so to bring the Congress to a close, I'm pleased to hand over the microphone to Nicole.
I'm Santa Claus today, so yeah, you know, time really flies. For me, it feels I have just stood before you and addressed some opening words, and now we are already closing this amazing event, this Congress, and yeah, I'm actually quite sad that it's already over. It has been such an inspiring event for me. It's not only the scientific program that was indeed outstanding, but it's also watching you all interacting and having such positive attitudes towards each other. And it was mentioned already, just like feel this drive and willingness to collaborate. I think that's amazing, and I don't think it's not like that everywhere. So I'm very, very positive that we have such a dedicated community of researchers behind us that will indeed make the impossible possible. And actually, just out of curiosity, did you actually take on my challenge to assess the discussions and debates in terms of patient relevance, and also in terms of how could you even further drive towards that? Or did you also assess the discussions and the research you have heard of in terms of how visionary they are? And did you have perhaps these moments when you are listening to a colleague in which you are thinking, oh, this idea actually inputs into my ideas, and I really see now how I can proceed my research to something great and new? I'm quite convinced all of you had those moments, and so it's indeed just exciting. And also very exciting, it's that we have been over 860 people here together in the last few days, coming from almost 70 countries across the globe. That's such an achievement, I think. And thank you all, because that means some of you had to travel a long, long distance to be here. And also important for you to know that it really was 65% of all the participants have been researchers, and there has been also a part of other people who are very involved in the SMA community, other stakeholders who had participated. But you were really the ones who are driving the research, this Congress, not only in terms of the content, but also in terms of coming together and exchange. So these events, these closing remarks, are of course also always to thank all the people who are involved. It's many people are involved that such an event is becoming successful, and I think we should take the time to thank all of them. So first, again, a big thank you to all speakers and presenters. We heard the quality was indeed more than outstanding, and it was truly, truly impressive and inspiring. Also, myself, again, I would really like to thank all the young researchers who have been in this Congress these days. You are amazing. And also those who have been presenting. I know it's not easy to stand in front of an audience. It's not always easy. But I think getting the opportunity to share your results, your work, all what you are doing in your labs, for so many hours with so much dedication, to share that piece of research in such an environment is worth the struggles before a talk. And also, I really hope that you will be continuing being engaged in the field of SMA. We, as SMA Europe, would really all embrace you to be. A big thank goes also to our sponsors. Without their support, we could certainly not have this event, So thank you also to them. We are here in Spain, and as you know, SMA Europe is a European umbrella organization. Being in Spain means that we were really closely collaborating with our Spanish member organization, which is Fondame. And yeah, I'm just very, it's also not, we cannot take it for granted that we have such amazing member organization who are so passionate and willing to support what we as an umbrella organization are suggesting to them. So really, thank you very much to Fondame and all the volunteers they had organized during these days to support this event to be so successful. Also, I really want to especially thank the SMA Europe staff. I'm not sure if all of them are here, most of them at least. They are doing also a great job. They were running around relentlessly in every corner and trying to organize everything for everyone. So I would like to give a big thank you to Vanessa. Stand up. Carolina, Emilia, Laura, and Theo. Yeah, they are great. You can stay here. You can move a bit, but you can stay.
Expand.
We will expand. Then also, thank you very much to Grupo Pacifico. They had supported us in the logistics of the event, and there was, in the end, Grupo Pacifico was responsible for some of the very unforgettable moments in our Congress, so, no. Thank you also to Grupo Pacifico, who was very involved in the organization of this Congress. Thank you. Then, thank you to all the patient advocates, to the delegates of SMA Europe. It was really great to have you here. It's always, it's always feeling like coming home when you are around, so it's great that you have been supporting us here in this event. And also, I would really want to give a very warm thank you to the board of SMA Europe. So please come to the stage. Yes. Eva. Yasmin. Olga. Of course, we are missing another board member, and this is Marie-Christine, but she needs to get a special applause. That's why I did not call her on the stage. So as I already said, I feel a very deep gratitude towards Marie-Christine. She has now been leading the organization of this SMA Europe Congress for the third time already, and of course, she was supported by volunteers from SMA Europe, by our staff, by the board, but she was the driving force behind it. So thank you very much, Marie-Christine. We have organized an additional, and we hope you like it. Thank you. Thank you so much. And then another person I will be welcoming on the stage, it's Eduardo, of course. Eduardo was so heavily organized in organizing this Congress, and he is also known as the father of this Congress. So, and yeah, and no, really, I think it is such a, it's such a pleasure that we could honor also his engagement in the field of SMA with bringing this Congress to Barcelona. So a big applause to Eduardo. And also, because we know that Eduardo is having a grandson, Leo, since a few weeks, we have a little present for him, or for his grandson, actually. Okay. Next time I bring a little bit back. So now to our SIB, the Scientific Advisory Board. I mean, you know it all, but you are indeed great. We are really very appreciative of your support. You are dedicating many, many hours, or countless hours as volunteers for our community. So it's be it in our call for research, but also here in the Congress. And I think this, this is just amazing. And again, it's not always like that. We have had some changes in the SIB. So I would really want to thank the retiring SIB people who are here. Those who are here can also join the stage. At the end, everyone is on the stage, but that's fine. So a special thank goes to Enrico. He is not here. Kevin is also not here. But then Arthur, not sure, I think he is here. Arthur. Laurent, who has been the vice chair for the last few years. Come to the stage. Eduardo, he is already on the stage. And also, I would like to take the chance to also, say, I will not say too many words, but Brunhilde, as we already know, and Tom already said, she is, or she herself actually said, and he said as well, and I will say it too. Unfortunately, Brunhilde, after having achieved so much in the SAB, is stepping down as our chair and from the SAB, and she was involved so many years. And I was thinking about what could I say, and then, it's really how can words at this moment really express what we feel. I think it's a deep gratitude towards you, Brunhilde, that you have been pushing for things and bringing things through and also supporting SMA Europe so much. And so I can just say actually, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope you like it. It's probably blue.
Thank you very much to everybody once again. I mean, it's definitely a very, very special moment today because I started to work on SMA in 1990, so many of you maybe even haven't been born. So, it's really, I'm doing a lot of other things as well, but SMA is really the disease, which is very deep in my heart, and I'm doing everything for the patients, for my students, for our society, for everybody, and I'm really, really very, very happy to be so fortunate to be able to do all that. And thank you so much for everything. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you to the entire team here. Thank you particularly thank you to Vanessa, who is always pushing us with various things. And so she's, in fact, in the background doing everything. We are not doing a lot. So I think this is really amazing. And of course, without Eduardo, we never would have had the meeting here. So Eduardo is really one of the most important person here. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been in Barcelona. So with all that, thank you so much once again.
Yeah, and as there's people leaving, we also, of course, as SMA Europe, want to welcome Tom. And he was really bold. He was bold to take the role of the chair of the SAB. So, I mean, yeah, so bold. And now I hope it all will be visionary as well. So.
No pressure.
No, thank you for taking on that task. So that's great. Okay. There is probably more people to thank. And I have potentially forgotten someone. It was certainly not on purpose. As I said, you are all great, and we can afterwards all meet here on the stage. But before I close the meeting and the Congress, and wish you goodbye and safe travels back home, back to your work, I hope you can have a break in between. It's really my pleasure. Actually, it was already spoiled a bit, but anyway. So it is my pleasure to announce the next country hosting our Congress. And we already know, the winner is Belgium! Looking very much forward to seeing you in 2024 in Belgium. Thank you.